I first started crocheting, I could never have imagined that I would have fallen so in love with crocheting wearables. I decided that I wanted to be more intentional about sharing my process behind every article that I crochet. A while back, I had finished a pair of crochet Skorts that I love. I'm so proud of them, and I wear them often, which is saying a lot, because I don't wear a lot of the things that I crochet. So I decided that that's where I would start. I'd crochet a pair of Skorts, and I would show you all of the steps that I took to get there. I'm not the best teacher, but something is better than nothing. I am so excited to start these crochet Skorts. Once you have all of your supplies, a darning needle, elastic, scissors, a hook, your yarn, a tape measure if you need it, though I could typically guess and use my work to measure around my body. We are going to begin by starting our waistband. I do have a large stash of yarn that I need to burn through, so this is the yarn that I am going to be utilizing for my Skorts. Some of this color left over. I do think that I want to include some of these cream colored and some whites, because being all green, well, it's not really the look I'm going for right now. Some of this dark green, and I think I have quite a few. Let me see here. Okay, I do love both of these, so I will be utilizing whatever I have left of both of these yarns here. A perfect project to do if you need to burn through yarn because it's funky, it's odd, so you can use whatever colors you have left. For the waistband, I am going to use my darkest green. And yeah, it's going to be great. We are going to do 2 rows of half double crochets, possibly 3. I will keep you updated. I don't think I mentioned it. I think this is a 5.5 millimeter hook. I think I wrap all my hooks in duct tape. I'm going to be honest, I don't really pay attention to my hook size as much as I should. This is Yarn Bee Soft Secret. It's not my favorite yarn that I've ever used, but I do have to burn through it. It is from Hobby Lobby. I do recommend Karen Simply Soft from Michaels. That's actually my go-to yarn. Okay, the hair is up and I'm feeling significantly better. Got my yarn here. Boop. How I do it, I take my yarn, put it over my finger, short side gets crossed in the front, and then I put my fingers through and grab the long side and boop, to make a chain that goes all the way around your waist. I have a relatively small waist compared to the size of my hips, so I have to take into account that mine's going to have to be a bit bigger in order for me to slide these on, but that's okay because that's why the elastic comes in handy for me. When your chain is long enough, continue to lay your chain flat and connect the ends chain facing the same way to insert my hook. I got my hook in both of these chains here. I'm going to yarn over and pull through both of them. Here we are. Now I am going to slide this over my body. Mine's a little big, so I can actually take away 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is safe. After that, I am going to chain 2. I am going to insert my hook into the next chain there. And we're going to half double crochet all the way around. You are literally just going to half double crochet all the way around, slip stitch, and chain 2. Coming towards the end here,
perfect. And so I slip stitched when I got to the end, and then I chained 2 here. Now I'm going to continue to half double crochet all the way around. You honestly could do anything for your waistband, any waistband that you like, any waistband that you've done. I know this isn't like a tutorial because I'm not very good at like showing you a very detailed process of how to do the stitches and how to do the chains, but the way that I crochet is just very like freehand. I kind of just go with the flow. So do whatever waistband you want. If you don't want elastic, then don't do elastic. It's cool to do like a tie. I'm sure a tie would be very cute. I thought about doing a tie for this one, but I just really love the security of having the elastic. So don't feel pressure to do exactly what I'm doing, but doing 2 rows of half double crochet is what works for me.
I went back and added 2 more rows to my waistband.
I do think that because this yarn is a little smaller, I'm going to do 3. So I'm going to do my 3 rows, and then I will show you what to do next. Now that my waistband is done,
Again, I added 2 more after this.
I chained 2, and I'm going to crochet in these back loops only, the loops closer to me, the loops on the inside of the project. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you just want to keep in mind that your front loops, so the ones on the outside of your projects, are going to be reserved for the skirt part of this project. For my first row, I'm going to continue in the same color that I did my waistband. For the next row, I am going to change it for the color that I want to see the least amount of, because the shorts are not going to be seen. You're going to crochet a skirt layer over top of the shorts. So it's not like super important that the shorts are the perfect color. For this part, I'm going to, like I said, use the same color, and then we will switch. First row of the shorts portion of this project is done, and if you see there, those front loops are open for us to connect our yarn and work on the skirt layer, so we will do that after we finish the shorts. I am going to stop recording for a second so I can test out the portion of the shorts before I get to the crotch.
For the rest of this project, I switched over to double crochet.
And that is, again, just chain 2, half double crochet until you feel like it's a comfortable length for you to start the crotch portion. One thing to keep in mind is if you want ruffles on your shorts, which I decided that I am going to do, you are going to continue to crochet on the shorts, and in the layers where you assume you will start a ruffle layer, you're going to do what we did here, and you're going to crochet in the back loops only, leaving those front loops open. So here was my first layer that we just did here, and this is the skirt portion. And then you have shorts for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the front loops open again for this layer. Keep that in mind. Let's crochet about how many rows would you say? Okay, quite a few rows. We're going to crochet quite a few rows. If you feel like you need to increase. Okay, this is what we are looking like so far. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but this is where we are going to attach the yarn for my first layer of the skirt. And then I have another section here where I worked in the back loops as well. So we will be attaching yarn here to do another layer of that skirt. This one's not going to have as many layers, as many ruffles as the first pair that I did, but I like it and I feel like that's going to work very well for me. I told myself I would edit it in I did decide after doing the waistband and my first row half double crochets that I wanted to do the rest of this project in double crochets so that it doesn't take forever, which is reasonable to do because this skirt's going to have 2 layers. It's going to have the shorts and it's going to have the skirt layer, so I don't think it'll be too see-through, and I want to be able to work this up a little bit quicker. Your next step is marking the middle so that we can do the crotch part of these shorts. I went ahead and right where I was going to chain 2 for my next row, I went ahead and chained 8 instead and marked my other middle piece. Now what I did was laid them on top of each other and marked what looked like the opposite side. I did count all of my stitches from this stitch all the way around to this stitch and did the same on this side to ensure that both are matching. I'm going to take my chain. I want to be sure it's not twisted. And I'm going to insert my hook here and yarn over and pull through both loops. I'll take that stitch marker out. I'll take this stitch marker out. Okay. Now I'm going to chain 2. And I'm going to work my way around the first leg here. Okay, so I took that chain, slip stitched it here to where my other stitch marker was, chained 2, and I'm just going to continue to crochet all the way around. When I get over here, I'm going to chain along this chain and slip stitch, but I will show you that. Always try things on because I'm not a counter. So if you counted, if you measured, then that's amazing. I did try these on with the crotch piece just to ensure that they are comfortable and that they fit. We are at the start here where that chain is, and I'm just going to continue. I'm going to do 1 here, and I'm going to crochet along this chain. Now I want to be sure that this chain doesn't get twisted, but we are going to do 8 and 8 and 8. And then I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch on the next side. Now, when you lay it, you want to be sure that your crotch is not twisted. And mine's looking, my crotch is looking great. Going to chain my 2. You could also chain 3. Chaining 2 works for me with half double crochets and double crochets, and I started chaining 2 and never stopped, so I'm going to continue. But you're going to just work in the round for this one. You are just going to keep crocheting in the round for as long as you want your shorts. You just want to be sure that you keep track of how many rows you are doing so that you could do the exact same on the other side. Okay, so I have one part done. These are going to be very short shorts because I don't want the shorts to show through the bottom of my skirt. The shorts are more for security and for see-through purposes. So now I'm going to end this row. Oops. And I'm going to begin my next one. And with that one, I'm going to start with my first stitch here. I'm going to grab some yarn.
I don't have a lot of yarn left, which is perfect. I'm so glad to see this yarn finally getting used up. To insert my hook right here into my first one before the chain across. And I'm going to grab my slip knot and pull that through. Now I always crochet over my tail. So I'm going to chain my 2. I did 5 rows last time, so I'm going to continue that all the way around. And I'm going to do exactly what I did on the other side on this side. So when I get to here, I will crochet all the way across and slip stitch into the beginning here.
My shorts are done, but I did realize that I want my waistband to be a bit bigger. So I am going to attach some yarn and do a few more rows of this dark green. And because I did half double crochets, I am going to continue to do half double crochets. I'm going to do 2 or 3 more rows just so that these sit a little higher on my body. And they'll be a little more high-waisted. And then I'm going to go through and add the elastic. This is where we are with the shorts so far. Okay, the waistband looks significantly better. I'm glad that I added 2 rows. I did 2 more rows of half double crochet on top. And you can see here where we are going to connect our next layers for this skirt. See how we left those front loops open to attach more yarn? I got this elastic cord from Michaels, so this is what I will be using. And then of course I need a needle. You're going to take your needle and you are going to take your elastic. Now for the elastic, I just measure what is good around my waist with room for it to be tied into a knot. To take your needle and your elastic, I hook it through here. I'm going to go into the row right under my first row. So I have my last row that I crocheted here. I'm going to weave this one in the second to last. And I just go through the backs of all of my stitches here. And I'm just going to weave this all the way through. I don't want this to fall out, so just be careful to not pull that too much. And this is what we are looking like when the shorts are completed. Not the best looking shorts you've ever seen. Time to begin working on our actual skirt, and this part is completely customizable. First layer is right here, and you can start from anywhere. I'm going to start with this color here. I've got my center pole all ready to go. I'm going to do my slip knot, and I'm going to pull that through, make sure it's tight, and I'm going to chain 2. And I'm going to crochet over it. It's up to you how ruffled you want this to be. To start out, I'm doing, of course, my double crochets. I'm going to increase every 7th stitch. 6, and in this next one, 7, I'm going to do 2 double crochets. And I'm going to go all the way down past this layer here. I don't want to see the start of my next layer. So I've got to at least take this 1 or 2 rows past this point here. So I will meet you at the end of this layer. Again, for this, all I'm doing is double crocheting all the way around, increasing every 7th. This is where we are at currently. So for this layer, I increased every 7th stitch in the 1st and 2nd row, and then I just continued in every stitch from there going forward. Now, if you lift this piece up here, then you could see where I am going to do my next layer. Probably go through and add 2 more layers to this, but I was super excited to start the 2nd layer. So we are going to start the 2nd layer, and we're going to do just like we did with the first one. I'm going to match my 1st layer and increase every 7th stitch in the first 2 rows. I am going to take that layer all the way down past the length of these shorts. Crochet skirts are completed.